Hi, it's Ricky from Moshville Times here once again. I'm delighted to welcome Manchester-based band BruteAllies. Now, BruteAllies play a mixture of thrash with death metal overtones, or I don't quite know if it's actually death with thrash metal overtones. I'm not quite sure. I'll need to ask them. But they also play everything in between. But this was just meant to be an interview with James, the vocalist, but the rest of the band got a wee bit nosy and decided to join in as well. So we've got James, the vocalist. We've also got Luke and Sonny, the guitarists, and we've got Gabby, the drummer. So how are you guys doing? How have you been since lockdown? Has everything been okay regarding like your jobs and friends and family and things?
Do you want me to start, I guess?
Yeah, go
on. Yeah, I was pretty lucky. I was furloughed, so I work for Factory 251 and as their resident engineer. And yeah, I've been able to kind of keep afloat and doing little bits and things there. I've not seen any family in quite a long time, so it'd be quite nice to see them again once things calm back down. But yeah, you know, keeping on, doing music, talking to this lot.
That's the hardest part during the lockdown, I can imagine. So what about yourself, Sonny?
Me, I work for a music shop, and to be honest, because we've been locking the door, people can't come in, but we're still doing mail order and selling a few guitars on the street, on the curb. It's been reduced days, so, you know, to make up for lost time, I've been all right. I've been kind of keeping steady, which is quite really thankful, you know.
Yeah, no, that's great that you're lucky and stuff like that. But I take it your job has changed now, and you brought in new ideas that will probably be implemented in the future still.
Yeah, definitely. It's very strange, really. I mean, obviously people want to really come in and have a look, and time again you have to say, you know, sorry. You know, we've even had the council come up to the door with some clipboards and say what we can and can't do. But yeah, I think hopefully, you know, people moving forward, people are looking forward to come when we open. Hopefully, I think it's April 12th. Should be pretty good.
Excellent, thanks, Sonny. What about yourself, Luke and Gabby?
Well, at the moment I'm on furlough because obviously I work at school, so I'm a sound technician and theater technician at school, so there's not much going on. So I'm still on furlough and well, waiting to go back to work. But yeah, to be honest, at this moment it just gives me more time to take care of music and some other like personal stuff. So it would be nice to be back at work, but it was actually nice to have a bit of a break so you can concentrate on your own personal life. So everything's going well, but yeah, it will be nice to go back soon. Hopefully soon.
I take it you've painted the whole of the inside of your house since lockdown then?
Sorry, say again?
I take it you've painted the whole of the inside of your house and during lockdown?
Yeah, we could say that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Luke. What about yourself, Gabby?
Well, I mean, I was lucky because I'm working in the food industry. Then we haven't stopped really. Obviously, we are working with social distancing measures, masks, all this stuff. Yeah. But rather than in March, we started working from home. But after 1 month or so, we were back to the office. Yeah. And it's more or less standard. Everything is a bit worse than the family thing because obviously I'm Spanish. And you have the family far away, and you don't know what's exactly going on. You don't talk every day and these things, and it's worrying because also you read the newspapers and coming from Spain, what's going on. You know, everything is shit and these things. But well, at the end, all the family is fine. People is starting getting vaccinated. My grandma is already vaccinated. My mom is also already vaccinated. Not my father. But you see things moving forward, and it's like, okay, the things are coming to the standard path now. Yeah. Obviously, we cannot go as often as we went before to Spain and these things. But well, everything is fine. We don't need to say sorry for anything. That's perfect, you know.
Well, listen, guys, there's light at the end of the tunnel now, as you say, Gabby. There's vaccines now. But listen, we're not here to talk about COVID and lockdowns and all of the rest of it, but with your debut album released, well, Ash and Nail's been released in November 2020, have you guys been using this time constructively and written more songs? Because I imagine you guys were formed in like 2018, so a couple of those songs might be quite old already. So I'm wondering if you've actually got any new plans in the works.
Well, at this moment, yeah, we're working on new material. However, because we just released the album, we are still trying to promote the current album that we released rather than to put most of the effort on the new one. So in terms of working on new material, yeah, we've got already a few songs that we are working at, but it's not, I think it's not really the priority at this moment. So it's more like, you know, kind of a side project that we do something with them coming back to it, but I don't think it's at this moment the point of releasing new album when we didn't have a chance to promote this album properly. So we're trying to make as much as we can of the material for the new album, but this is kind of like a side project at this moment, I would say. We're working on it. We've got a few songs. We've got great ideas, but yeah, we would like to promote the album that we just released more now at this moment.
Get the full value out of it.
It's kind of weird moment, because when you release an album and maybe you are starting thinking in new things, but you are already playing alive with your current songs. But now it's like, okay, you are not burning your bullets. We are working in new material, but you haven't presented the other one to people, you know. It's weird, really.
I want to make sure that we give all the other songs their time to shine once the albums come out. So I mean, if we go immediately into playing, I'm not saying that we might not present a new song when we finally get to start playing again, but you know, give every song, because I think we all are really proud of every song on there. There's not really a weak one that we're stood around going, oh, we'll do one more, oh, don't pick that one or anything like that. It's usually just kind of like, oh, I want to do that one, oh, but we haven't got time to do that one, kind of thing.
I mean, sorry, Simon.
No, I was just going to add, I mean, me and James and Luke especially are always working on material just throughout generally. So when we need to pick, there is a pot we can always pick, you know, as the time comes. But we're always chipping away at stuff generally, whether it's COVID or not COVID or active or not.
Well, I was a guitarist before I was vocalist, so I can nitpick at their playing for them.
So, Sonny, is Luke the guy that sends guitarists to you at 4 o'clock in the morning and stuff?
So far, we've mainly done one person kind of writes most of the songs, but now towards the new album, we've had definitely gonna, I guess, be working as a band, so everyone gets their influence, you know, and everyone can share. And yeah, sure, we should be sharing riffs and sending each other bits to work on. We've got some ideas going. Yeah, we hopefully should be good when we can get time to finally start on that new one.
Cool. So don't take this the wrong way, guys, but you're not trying to rewrite the rule book or anything like that. Your music, I don't want to use the word simple or straightforward and stuff like that, but it's incredibly tight. You've got brilliant time signatures, you've got lots of grooves, you've got a couple of blast beats in there as well. There's certainly a lot for in the song to appeal to a large variety of fans, but like I say, you're not trying to be the new Origin or something like that and write 1,000 mile an hour riffs.
Oh yeah.
You're like myself. I'm more old school at heart, so you're writing more old school material, which is what I like.
Sonny, he says we're not fast enough. Well, actually, I should be saying Gabby.
Yeah, don't tell him that, because Sonny wants more speed always.
just another couple of BPM, just to inch that up a little bit. It'd be tasty. I get what you're saying there. The kind of the songs that we were writing, there was at least, well, there was one, Lost Souls, that was completely written before me and Sonny joined. So that was already the vocals written, the guitar parts. That was just a case of me and Sonny kind of learning them, seeing how we kind of fit in with the rest of the guys. Yeah. And then as these other songs were being written, a lot of them Luke had already been working on in part and already had a kind of vision for it. And he very much in kind of helps us keep the BruteAllies sound kind of a bit more congruent, because we can be very tempted to kind of go, oh, well, we could just kind of like go this way, and then it can veer a little bit. So I mean, it's our first release. Yeah. We're still a relatively young band. We're learning how to kind of work together, but it's a lot of fun. We we like to hang out outside of playing the music as well, which is always kind of pretty key and kind of helpful for developing ideas.
So now that you're more of a solid 5-piece then, and with the newer songs, has there been a slight difference in the sound? Has somebody else brought like a different kind of influence into the sound?
Luke, you might be able to answer that one because we're the two newest kind of assets.
Well, the thing is that when I started the band with Hassan, and the idea was to play metal that's quite aggressive. It doesn't have to be anything that will bring anything really new, but when I'm listening to music, I really like the idea of bands that are putting different genres together.
Yeah.
So the idea was to concentrate on thrash and death metal. However, it doesn't mean that we will be playing only that. It's nice to bring anything and put that into these two genres. So it wasn't really about being very technical, being very innovative. It's more about to create something that we enjoy playing and people will enjoy listening to. But being based on thrash and death metal doesn't mean that we can't bring anything else. To be honest, like any kind of music you can put into it and have an element of it, as long as it's just the element, but not something that will dominate the song. Yeah. So that was kind of an idea of the band. So when you're saying that maybe we're not too innovative in terms of doing something very original, yes, that was the whole idea of the band. It's not always you need to be very innovative. It's just as long as you give people and yourself something that you like playing and you like listening to, yeah, that's great. And if you put everything together and be based on two main genres, that's great.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's kind of there are people trying to put weird chords, weird time signatures, just for okay, we need to do something new. And there are people doing it well. There are people who made amazing kind of music, and there are people who is like, this sounds like you are trying to do something different without any reason, you know, that it not even sounds like a good music. I think, because you are saying, okay, it's very straightforward and these things. For example, in the album, I think there are no any, for example, big change in tempo in the same inside of the same song, but I think there are a change of feeling just without changing a tempo. There are change of feeling, there are change in attitude inside a song, and that's so, at least when I'm playing is what I try to communicate, because you don't need to do a big change on time signature or in these things to communicate different feelings.
Yeah.
If you can dominate that, okay, you after can do a change of time signature or whatever you want, but it's not a must if you can communicate without.
Yeah.
Then I think when you have an entire song, sounds like a block, because you're not even changing that, but it's not always the same, or at least is what I've seen. Sometimes we have a long song that it sounds more or less in the same kind of path. And for example, you can listen to Nemesis that is like 2.5 minutes and it's changing all the time, and it's not even changing the tempo of the song. Then it gives you this kind of feelings. It's what I feel when I'm playing this music, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to add one little thing for that.
Sure.
Is there's an idea for kind of when you're composing your music of there's writing it because you enjoy writing music, which is definitely something we're all enthusiastic about. And then the types of music that you write is whether you write music for musicians or music for fans and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And trying to kind of find a balance between that things, because we want to be able to showcase the skills that we've worked on to kind of accumulate in the album, and every part of us working together. But at the same time, you never want to kind of alienate what could be a very large and very fun kind of crowd. So kind of going into the thrash kind of thing, you could go too technical, like Gabby was saying, with unusual time signatures in there. And it's excellent at proving a point.
Yeah.
And it has its value and has its place, and it can be absolutely sick in the right kind of thing. But it's more kind of broad appeal can be a bit more limited. And I feel that the music that we're creating is very much about kind of a group and room energy, and you want to be able to kind of as easily as possible kind of project that vibe out to the crowd so that they can just be kind of like, right, I'm already like locked in here. I don't know what's going on. I've never heard these guys before, but I already know that I'm kind of with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said a couple of minutes ago, I'm more old school. I mean, it's very, very hard to be original now, whether it's thrash or whether it's death or whether it's anything. Sometimes you just want straightforward tunes. I mean, there's nothing better that I like is the Swedish sound. And you get bands, one of my favourite bands at the moment is Lick. And all they're wanting to do is sound like 1989, 1990. And that's just music to my ears. And it's the same with you guys. You're just playing music that you guys enjoy playing, and you're not wanting to change anything. You just want to play good, well-structured songs, and that's certainly what comes through in Nationals. So well done.
Thank you.
The other thing is,
one more thing.
Yes.
What are you saying, Luke?
Yeah, basically, I think the other thing is that, like, okay, we got to the point that we know how to play our music and we are comfortable with it. I was in a band before, some time ago, that I was really a big fan of progressive metal at that time, but I've realized that I'm not a progressive player, and I was trying to play something that I was really struggling.
Yeah.
And then I got to the point that my next band, I want a band that I will be comfortable with, something that I can play and something that I really like playing. And then I've just realized that actually thrash metal and death metal is like, that's the thing that I like, and I am comfortable with it. So I'm not trying to out-jump myself in terms of my skills. So that was the whole idea of the project. So to get the people that we can create the music that we are comfortable with. Obviously, we're trying to more and more and learn more, but in terms of writing the material, it's better sometimes to write the songs on the field that you are comfortable with, rather than to trying to do more and more and then not being able to play live, for example.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of my philosophy for this band.
No, listen, guys, that's absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much for your explanations there. But I'm looking very much forward to seeing you at Badgerfest, but we'll talk about Badgerfest later on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing these songs live on stage. So, but we'll come to that later on. So you guys are not camera shy when it comes to making videos for the album. I think out of the 6 songs, I think you've done 4, but you've also done a couple of lockdown videos as well. But did you ever think of doing like virtual gigs?
We were not thinking.
Yeah, sorry, go for it, Luke.
Yeah, go, James. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, and he's going
to leave it indirectly.
No, I had to close the door. Yeah.
Coming for me?
Yeah, go on.
Yes, so we had ideas for this. We've been speaking to various people who also had similar ideas, John included, actually, John Badger.
Yeah.
And with kind of, I think, all of our lives and things, it was a little difficult to kind of safely meet up and get this kind of organized.
Yeah.
Which I think we kind of favored the idea of doing the other lockdown videos instead, and just decided to operate on kind of preparing additional media to kind of go out for that instead of just a streamed show.
Yeah. Because I take it, Sonny, like because you can't go out and promote these shows, you've maybe got a wee bit more time to look at the more business side of the band and keeping the name out there and doing things like lockdown videos. And how are you like doing the merch and things like that, the business side of the band?
I'll be honest, I don't deal with the merch or the business. You'll have to redirect that to Luke. But as far as promoting the band, no, I can safely say me and James have been working on something. So we've been doing plenty of videos to get them out, you know, using what we've got, really, you know, like the spaces we've got and the equipment we've got. You know, props to Luke for being all in-house, and Katia done some really good work. Me and James definitely got some, you know, more kind of creative on the creative side videos to go up for us, to keep us occupied. But as far as the merch is concerned, yeah, that'd be Luke.
So when was the last time that you guys got together?
Oh, that was when we did. Sorry. That was when we did the video for Mad Elephant.
Yeah.
So that was the last lockdown video, and we are really hoping that after Easter we can finally go back to practicing and start playing together, because since the lockdown, pretty much everything apart from the videos, it was doing remotely. So we were just sending materials, and we were just trying to do more stuff in terms of the promotion of the album and working on new material, but we didn't really practice that much.
Yeah.
So when you asked about the live streams, the problem is that we need to start practicing again as a band.
Yeah.
And till that time, I was thinking personally that maybe it will be better option to do a kind of a live gig, that because we can't really play any festivals, but there's lots of online festivals, so we need to pre-record the gig. So this is kind of a plan. We really hope that we can get on some festivals during summer, but probably that's not gonna happen. But if it's not gonna happen, then there will be loads of online festivals. So maybe that's something that we're thinking of now, is just basically to record a live video of 3 songs, so we can provide that to different festivals, online festivals.
Yeah.
But not really live stream, because that will take a bit more time. As I said, we didn't play together for a long time.
Because I noticed in the Manchester scene, 016 I know that they've put on 1 or 2 recently, so it might be something that will give. It might be an opportunity that will come up for you guys in the near future. Who knows? Who knows?
That would be great, but we need to come back to practicing first. And the situation is as it is. So without practicing and being ready for that, you can't really do that.
Yeah.
But that would be great. At some point, yes.
I'm sure you guys will be fine. I'm sure you guys will be fine. But James, with you being the vocalist of the band, then do you take care of all the lyrics, or do you welcome contributions for other band members?
Well, Lost Souls was written by the original vocalist, and Nemesis was actually written.
There was no original vocalist.
Was he not the singer before I did?
And not really original. That was the guest vocals. Basically, at the beginning of the band, when we were trying to form the band, me and Hassan, then we asked some friends to help us to release the demo. And Nick Frankalis is our good mate, who we used to play, me and Hassan, in a different band, and he was up for it, so he helped us. And then obviously he's now on Lost Souls as backing vocalist as well.
Yeah. All right. So he wrote those lyrics, which was the first song when I joined the band, which is kind of nice, meaning that I could just concentrate on learning the lyrics and how to sing it instead of having to come up with it's like 7 minutes or something of that song.
With exaggeration,
I have a terrible memory. Just like must remember words. It's funny. So I wrote the lyrics for all the other songs except for Nemesis, as Nemesis was a song that Sonny had been demoing around for a little while with a friend of his called Alex. And Alex allowed, because the lyrics that were on there, I was already a fan of their vocals, and the lyrics did just kind of seem to fit, and it was already thematically in kind of place with BruteAllies. So they allowed me to kind of use those. As for the other songs, Luke had working titles for all of the songs, and I wrote lyrics based on those titles. So.
Well, I'm telling you, it's definitely something that I wouldn't be able to do, and I think the other band members are quite glad that you are doing them, because it's definitely a talent, But I take it you write your lyrics in line with how you're going to sing them. So it might just be better that you actually write your lyrics rather than get your contributions from other guys.
I will run some lines like by the guys and just kind of help with like theming ideas and things like that. And quite often, there's 2 ideas. There'll be this like a random idea that comes into my head, and I'll be like, right, that's themed around this, and I'll just write down a couple of lines. And then an appropriate song will come along and go, okay, maybe I can grab that one. But because I've been working from suggested titles from Luke, then I've just kind of had them play the songs, and I've just kind of thought, right, it's about that, okay, think of things there, and then polished it up a little bit afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I've taken kind of influence from Randy Blythe in kind of like phrasing and like tone in somewhat of it. The At the Gates vocalist and the All Shall Perish vocalist, which I should know the names of, but I'm a terrible person. He's now the vocalist for Suicide Silence from All Shall Perish. but that kind of those three kind of different tones and how Randy Blythe's vocals especially are rhythmic at times and very much kind of complement the guitars and rest of the things they're doing there. And I wanted to make sure that it didn't just sound like I was a big growly voice going bah, 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 over the top of thrash metal. I wanted it to, you know, to link in, to kind of be on the beats, to syncopate, to do all this kind of cool stuff, and make it so that it was in its own right kind of memorable. Because half the time you can't really understand death metal vocals, especially live.
Yes, I agree. It's quite funny that you mentioned Randy Blythe, because I take it was your influence with the Lamb of God lockdown video then.
No, actually.
No?
Funnily enough, I had independently decided to do my own cover just at home of Laid to Rest, as it was one of those songs that when I picked up guitar, a bunch of my friends learned the main riff and I just never learnt it.
Yeah.
So over lockdown, I spent a lot of time practicing guitar and kind of getting myself up there and building some playlists, and Laid to Rest was one of the songs. So I put together a whole cover, got it on YouTube, and then these guys were like, "Oh, we should do a Lamb of God cover." It's like, oh, cool.
It's quite funny that you mentioned At the Gates as well, because I do hear a lot of At the Gates in your music as well. Thomas Lindbergh, I think, is the vocalist. But, anyway, thanks for that. So there'll of course be no live shows in the near future, but with the hope of the vaccine in the rise, and do you guys have plans like maybe towards the late summer, winter touring wise, so that you can fully promote
available?
You can fully promote this blinking album that you're dying to promote?
It will depend on what becomes available, but I mean, we do plan on doing an actual album launch show.
Yeah.
We're talking to, I mean, before lockdown happened, I was already speaking to a couple of Manchester bands about putting on a show, possibly at Factory, seeing as I get looked after quite well there. And yeah, just throwing a big ass party really for it.
You're also doing Badgerfest, but is there still like one or two plans or anything like that for other gigs, or is it still waiting to see what happens with COVID and then start planning?
We've been offered a couple of things, but because they're sort of penciled in at the moment, we've been asked not to kind of mention too much there, just in case, because we don't know what's going to happen. So it's like until they can control the sort of social media side, they want to just kind of it's like returning shows for a couple of venues, in Manchester.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get a wee exclusive there. You know what I mean? A wee exclusive.
Secrets.
Yeah,
the problem is that
all the dates are theoretic now. Depends of everything going on, and then
theoric. That's a great word.
Yeah, I definitely.
It's quite difficult to plan anything now. It's basically it's great that we've been offered some really good gigs, but we're really hoping that this gig will happen. But being realistic, probably they will not. So at this moment, it's just pretty much hope that we will play soon again.
Yeah.
Is a lot of people announcing gigs and after cancelling, and I think it doesn't worth it really. It's better to wait a bit, and also for us, for our mental health, because if you get like, oh, we are going to have a gig, and after it's worse,
Yeah. Well, let's hope it's because it was like 2020 copy and 2021 paste, so hopefully we won't go into 2022. I mean, my Facebook feed is getting filled up with gigs again, so I don't see festivals happening, but maybe like more intimate, smaller venues. But who knows? Who knows what the government's going to think of next?
You'd hope so they could do something with like an open air style thing.
Yeah.
That way,
smaller festivals, but open air ones.
Yeah, that would be a great way of kind of doing it, but logistically and versus how much money they wouldn't be able to make because of the reduced kind of ticket sales they'd be able to do. It would possibly rely on a lot of people's sheer desire for it to happen, not because it's going to be properly supported, because it's going to be a moneymaker.
I mean, in Glasgow, where I'm from, there's like 4 or 5 clubs that are like 200 yards away from each other. And sometimes that can affect the crowds. But because there's been no gigs, I think the punters are going to be spoiled for choice. And I think the venues are going to be quite a lot fuller. People are just dying for gigs again. As you guys are dying to play on the stage, we're dying to see you on the stage, So who knows? But having known you guys for some time on social media,
it's pretty much the same here. It's when
carry on.
We lost him.
Oh, he's frozen. Oh no, he's blinking.
I thought you were saying something there, Luke. So having known you guys for some time on social media.
I was just trying to say that's pretty much Manchester.
Nick he's coming with some delay.
Yeah, we're getting some lag on the Luke.
Yeah, he's freezing.
Oh, what is that freeze frame?
Yeah. I think I
It's
might
like
have
something
to do a
out of
wee
an
bit of
Aphex Twin
editing.
video.
Well, see, right, thanks a lot for that, guys. So, having known you guys for some time on social media, then things seem to be very settled in the band members front. So, how would you say you keep it all together? Like, for example, when negotiating what stays in and what goes out of a song?
I think it takes
whoever's
time.
got the bigger knife.
Yeah, I think that it takes some time because when you're getting new people, and we didn't really know each other before. I knew Hassan, so we started the band, but then all the other people that came to the band, we didn't know each other, so it takes time to get to the point when you know how to work with each other. So the new album will be different because we'll be working all together, and all of the songs we're planning to do all together. So I think we are ready now. So after more than 1 year trying to figure out how to work together, we are at the point that pretty much I think we'll be comfortable with that. So kind of we're really waiting for it. So all the music will be actually our music, not music of person who let's say not music before.
Yeah. So, Luke, with you being hi, Luke. With you being one of the original members of the band, then is this the happiest that you've been then?
Sorry, say again?
With you being one of the original members of the band, would you say this is the happiest that you've been in terms of the band members?
Yeah, Luke. Pretty happy with this, aren't you?
Pretty happy, yeah.
Looks pretty happy to me.
Pretty happy, yeah.
Good.
Good.
I'll be honest, when we're kind of putting our heads together.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, go on, Luke. When we're putting our heads together,
yeah.
I find that
Looks like 2 seconds behind.
You have a pedal in your guitar who says delay. Just push it again.
Yes.
Is this me or Luke?
Look.
I can barely hear you guys. That's the problem.
Oh no. Your LG K10 from 2017.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, it's really great that at some point we got to the point where we can write songs together, and we've got kind of a plan how to do it together, because we are at the stage when BruteAllies can go in a bit different way, when everyone can add something to it, and that will be just basically us to make sure that now it will be, the next album will be created by the whole band, and it will be something that we work together on, and it will be different, and will be, I'm pretty sure it will be much better than the first one, because you've got more people, you've got more ideas. Sometimes it's really difficult when you write the songs and you don't have any other inspiration, no one who can tell you that, okay, we can do something different. We did that before, but most of the riffs came from one place. But now it will be something different that I think everyone is just looking forward to it.
Thanks for that, Luke. That's what I was going to say, Sonny, was a lot of the material already written, but now with the new material, you're putting a much more your influence into the songs.
Yeah, for sure. I find we agree pretty much when we put stuff in to each other. We agree with it pretty well. I say the only problem we disagree is, funny you should say, is the speed of it and how fast to play it. That's where the disagreements come about. But no, generally the ideas are pretty solid.
We're good on every other front except for the speed. See, sorry, there's a funny one for Nemesis, which Sonny wanted it to be fast riffs, and to make sure that we can play it cleanly and properly, and it makes sense.
I was going to say, but then I later found out that humans have physical.
These things called limitations. Yeah. So we've had to slow that down. To make it easier for everybody. Slowing that song down makes it harder for me.
Yeah.
It's got quite a few it's fast vocals that are then into longer screams. So when I have to slow that down, I have to put more breath and power into it. So Gabby, I hope you know that you're wronging two people here.
Man, I email everyone because I cannot play it faster, but
Oh, he can.
Gabby, you absolutely nail it. It's great. Don't worry. I'll just
need to practice a bit while you are talking, guys.
See, to be honest with you, from a listener, I like it the way it is. So don't change it too much. And if you want to play faster, Sonny, then do a wee grindcore side project or something like that, you know.
On the right.
But see, to be honest with you, I was quite disappointed in your answer there because I was expecting like blood on the walls and like fisticuffs in the studio and stuff like that, you know, but it seems to be quite settled, which is certainly pleasing to hear.
It's all mind games. That's how we do it.
Now, see, when you can get together, where do you rehearse and where do you record your songs?
Well, we rehearsed at Brunswick Mill, which I believe John also has his room there, as well. And well, quite a few of the bits we recorded as DIs and did a lot of reamping, which was done by Ivan, the engineer, who did the mixes of the album.
Yeah.
Vocals I recorded with an engineer called Luke Clark. He just gets the best out of me. Like I've known him for a while, both went to SSR, and just a great studio engineer. Helped Sonny with his guitars as well for tracking a bit, and then I believe Luke and Gabby did the drums together and then got them sent off. You have to correct me if I'm wrong there. You did them.
We just use whatever's available, don't we? Really?
Yeah, you know, it's the thrash way. Just slap it together, duct tape, hammer.
So, are you going to use the recording? Are you going to use the experience of Ash and Nails? Are you going to change anything the way that you do the next record? Are you going to use that experience going forward? Are you going to change anything about? Or are you happy the way that you recorded that album?
We're not really sure yet about that, but definitely we're going to use the experience that we got from this way of recording. But the thing is that nowadays you can create and record the album pretty much most of it from your bedroom.
Yes.
You can record the guitars, you can even record drums. However, this time the thing that definitely we would like to change is to record drums in a studio, because we recorded drums in our practice room and we recorded triggers, we recorded microphones as well. But this time, this is the first thing that we want to change and go for drums in a real studio.
Yeah.
Do you wholeheartedly agree with that, Gabby? Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it more difficult for me, you know. I think music in or the newer music that we are looking at is some kind of everything sounding more or less the same in terms of sound of drums, and it will be good if it's in a studio because you can give it a bit of more personal way to the sound that you deliver, really.
Yeah.
And then for me will be good. Obviously, will be harder because if you feel something is like, okay, you repeat it and you do it right, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we should do it in a studio next time for sure. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for that, guys. But I also noticed that you're signed to Wormhole Records. Now, that's pretty much a big deal, especially since I think you only released your single Invasion first, and then your debut album got put out by Wormhole Records. So how did that come about, and what are you wanting Wormhole Records to do for you?
Do you want to take that, Luke? Can he take with a number of different kind of labels pushing out our demos and things, and kind of wanting to make sure that we don't just take the first thing that was offered to us, making sure that it's for the work that we put in and everything that we're doing, that they're giving us something kind of equal. We didn't just want a okay, we'll produce and put your CDs up online, and then we'll get you on a couple of radio stations and things like that.
Yeah.
We were hoping for a label that would, want to kind of communicate with us a little bit more, and they've been good in trying to keep in touch with us and ask us what we've been doing and things like that, which is why like a little while ago, me and Hassan worked together to create a sort of radio jingle, which we can, we've got two actually. There's one was an ad for a specific metal zine, like blog, the Rock and Roll Towners, and the other one was more of a generic one that we could kind of have put in as sort of like a vox pop in between on like radio stations.
Yeah.
Just wanting to make sure that we've got promotional bits and pieces ready for them. Like they've been good to us so far. So
no, I think what happened when we were checking this, because I remember the conversations when we got the offers and all these things, when we were sending the album to some companies, and some of them came back to us, and to be honest, Warhol offered us a very fair contract, and we were a bit concerned also because of past experiences of some of us, that because there are some companies that are like you cannot rely in, and for what we read, and we asked before to other bands that were working with them, and everyone was happy. That was the thing that we filled with Warhol, and to be honest, after doing with them, we are very happy with them, and we strongly recommend it because they are they are very fair, they are honest always, and if you work, they work. That's it, and it's a good thing, really.
You can't ask.
I must say that actually that in terms of Wormhole Dev, the thing is that was, first of all, that was the best deal that we got, and we didn't even expect to get a deal like that with Wormhole Dev Records, and they did everything they promised, and as Gabby said, the most important thing with Wormhole Dev is that the communication is great, because with some of the other labels, the communication is sometimes really, really crap. Here, you just work with them. And someone said that before we joined the label, and was one of the reviews that the guy said from one of the bands, I don't remember which one, but the band from Warhol Dev, he said that, okay, if you're doing your part of the job, then they will do the part of the job, and definitely they're doing everything they promise, and
totally
they are great.
So
we are definitely happy with the label.
They must have recognised something in yourselves, because, like I said, it was just you released one song, and then you're signed up to a deal. Which, I mean, did you think of releasing Ash and Nails independently, or did Wormhole Death just take you completely by surprise?
It was an option.
It was an option, but like realistically, you get in contact with a good label because of the connections and kind of trust that their previous workers kind of built for them. It's a case of knowing that our material is being kind of acknowledged in the places that they said that they would put it. And it's one of those where it's an unbelievably large amount of work to do by like just the members of the band trying to get your material pushed out there, let alone just people not trusting you because you're just another band. So it's not just a case of like, could we have done it ourselves? It's like, realistically, probably not to the scale that they've done, because our connections and skill sets lie in other areas. We're the ones that will make sure the music's done right, and we'll create the media for you. If you tell us what you need us to do, and work with us there.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it leads to bigger and better things with Wormhole then. That's absolutely brilliant. But I see you guys are playing Badgerfest in October this year. I take it you're looking forward to playing this gig. It's looking likely that it's going to happen. So you must be eager to get on that stage.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because it's certainly, I think it's going 4 or 5 years now, and it's certainly got a much bigger profile every year. So it's certainly something to get yourselves on. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on it.
Yeah.
The thing is that Badger is doing a really great job. Badger is the person who is known pretty much for every metalhead in Manchester, and not only Manchester. And he started. I think he started as a small festival, and he's just getting better and better. And he's a very professional guy, and it's like, playing at his festival is always a pleasure. Just to play at a festival that you don't really need to ask many questions about the festivals. Because normally, if you got the offer to play a festival or a gig, then you need to ask many questions. And with Badger, it's a bit different because you know the guy and you know that you can trust him. It's a bit different play. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. He's a guy that you go to play wherever in Manchester and he's around. He's always very helpful. He's pushing the scene up. What do you need to ask?
Yeah. Well, I've worked with John for a couple of years now because I'm the resident engineer at Factory, but I also have been on rotation at Rebellion, where he has booked a lot of his shows for the last couple of years. So working with him in almost every band that he's in, like the handfuls and handfuls of them, as he's come through there, the shows that he's organised and booked himself, he clearly cares, and it shows in how many people want to be involved in what he's talking about. I don't know a drummer that can be in as many different bands as he is, where people don't just say, "Oh yeah, he's flaky, whatever." It's like, no, he's not. He's in all of these bands, and they're all functioning. Like I was going to start jamming with him on guitar for a little project he's working on, a kind of a black metal thing. I won't say anything more than that in case he's keeping it secret. But I wanted to kind of keep focused on this. But yeah, he's just so prolific.
He certainly is. Sorry, Sonny, you were going to be saying?
Yeah, just following from exactly what James says, really. I've known him for years, and he's been nothing but a sweetheart, really. He really does care. He knows his music, and he's a fine drummer, amongst many other things. You can totally trust him.
Yeah. He's doing he does a hell of a lot for Manchester, and the same with 016. When I think with those two, you've definitely got Manchester's got a hell of a scene, and you're going to be well looked after by either. But with John Badger, did he approach you guys to come on to this year's Badgerfest, or did you apply for it? How did it all come about?
He approached us. He lives.
Was it after a gig, or was it after a gig or anything like that, or?
Well, because we've been like in close communications for a number of years.
Yeah.
I believe he just dropped it through to me and to you as well, Luke, possibly. We floated the idea to both of us, or maybe I mentioned it to him as well.
Hello, Luke.
Either way, he dropped the message through, just kind of offering if we were interested in getting involved in Badgerfest, and naturally would want to be after looking at how many bands he's got kind of coming down. That should be a great lineup. Yeah. Just flattered to be kind of like asked to play. Is flattered the right word? Honoured.
That's what I was going to say. Do you know what day and time you're playing?
Say again, sorry.
Know what day and time you're playing?
No clue yet. I think he's still kind of running times and stuff like that are shy of the headliners and maybe your openers and main supports. That's probably going to be very much kind of closer to the day, and depending on what he's got set up for equipment hire, share, and engineers and everything.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll have something good cooked up.
Well, listen, guys, I've only got a couple of questions left in, but I might be showing my age here. Before the internet, magazines and fanzines were the places to find out about new bands and trends, but now publications have been replaced with thousands of websites catering for all genres. So do you think that some of the passion has been lost, or do you think that the internet's been a good thing for music and a good thing for BruteAllies?
It's two things. The passion is not lost. The problem is that actually there's more passion, I would say, because internet gives you opportunity to do more and more, and everyone who's got the passion can open the channel, can do things. But the problem is that there is quite a few people who got the passion, who are doing that right, but they're not really recognized, because they do a really great job. But because everyone can do it, it's pretty much with the bands as well, then it's really difficult to cut through all the information that's on the internet. So that is a problem for Passion, but Passion definitely is not lost in my opinion. You
I
know what
think
I mean?
there are-
It's not that easy to cut through everything.
Yeah.
I think there are that much information that sometimes it gets lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Passion's
it's a common
definitely there.
problem in internet. Everything in internet happens that you need to search for the good information, and how is happening with that, because a lot of people do it what you are doing, for example, and not doing right, and then it's like I don't want to see any interviews or any reviews because all are shit. It's not true. Still being good ones, but the problem is there are too much sometimes.
Yeah. One of the questions I'll never ask is, what does the name BruteAllies mean? I'll never ask what a band name means, or I'll never ask, what do you prefer, tea or coffee? I'll never ask them.
That's a Luke question.
So what do you think?
We were looking, well, I was at that time, I was looking for a name that, first of all, when you type it in Google, you don't want it to be a name that you will have 1,000 different, outcomes from that. So you want something that if you type the name, it will be there.
He's thinking SEO.
Something that means something as well.
Well, it's a bit of a play. It's a bit of a play on words with it.
Yeah.
It's like BruteAllies, but it also kind of works in the nature of the lyrics. This is another one of these ones, actually, Luke, where your kind of general ideas have had the lore sort of expanded, kind of once more of the picture of what BruteAllies is about has kind of come together. This name has sort of like been fulfilled afterwards, because BruteAllies, it's like your allies are the good guys. They're the ones who are there on the right side of justice.
You want to have us on our side, on your side.
Yeah, but see, your allies are using brute force. It's like, does that not make you just as bad if you're not capable of resolving your conflicts without violence?
Can I just say, to defend myself there? I didn't ask to explain. I said one of the questions that I would never ask would be, tell me what your band name means, because you've been asked that 101 times before. But thank you very much for your explanation anyway.
Whoops. Must have been that one cider I had.
I never gave that much thought to the name, to be honest.
But controversially, I much prefer
sounds
the name
good. That's
Allies.
it. Fine.
Sorry, something you were saying?
Oh God, controversially, I much prefer the name Allies. I mean, we've got Greece, Spain, Poland, and England. That for me is much more suiting. But hey ho.
So, what do you think, Sonny, about the internet then, and has it been good for the band?
Well, for any band, really. I mean, it can be the most amazing thing in the world if you can execute it right. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
I think going viral is probably the easiest way to kind of get a boom. I've no idea how long it lasts, but maybe that's something we could look to do, in the near future.
I mean, I definitely think the internet's it's a double-edged sword, because it's given
100%.
Yeah,
it's given me the opportunity to do stuff like this. But I've been into extreme stuff since like late 80s, early 90s. And there was nothing better than sending a couple of pounds away, and a couple of days later you would get a cassette tape, and you would open the envelope, and stickers would fly out and stuff like that, and you'll get a letter from the band. I remember the days when you were saying like CDs should be burned, but with the demo you would listen to it and you say, oh, I don't know if I like it, but because you've invested in it, you would listen to it again, and then you make up your mind. Now you go into like Bandcamp or something like that and listen 10 seconds. Oh no, that's pish. And there's another million bands that are doing stuff from their bedroom. I'll listen to the next band. So it can be dismissive, but it can be a good thing as well. So it's a double-edged. Yeah. That's what I think.
It's changed. It's changed where the bar is for kind of getting yourself kind of acknowledged there. You need to make sure. There's a big focus on production for a lot of bands as well, making sure that when it comes in, that your drums sound big, massive, and punchy. Guitars sound like all this. So they're not immediately going, oh, this is like an underproduced mess, or it's a budget band and things like that. So trying to kind of fill your way in on that. But it's interesting you've asked about ways of discovering bands with the avenue of the internet. Because I remember because I had the internet in like, I don't know, like 1998, and going on to this website, it was heavymetaluniverse.net or something, and it just had an alphabetical list of all these random like black and death metal bands that I've never seen anywhere else. And I was just going through, it had like 2 or 3 songs from each one, and that's really what opened my mind, because I was listening to bits of like I'd started off with Rage Against the Machine. I'd listened to bits of like Sum 41 and Green Day and things, and then you kind of work your way into the better stuff.
It was glam metal, wasn't it? It was glam. It was Motley Crue and Poison and all that, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. I read The Dirt, which gave me a whole new appreciation for Motley Crue. But yeah, moving away kind of up in there from Rage into kind of like Metallica and Slayer and things like that, and being like, I want this, but I want, how do I get more of it?
Yeah.
And then like System of a Down and things like that. And yeah, just discovering all of these bizarre, random like black metal bands. One band I'm never going to forget, and I do occasionally listen to them now, German power metal band called Angel Dust. And it's just the weirdest thing. It's sort of like weirdly industrial kind of gothic metal thing. And that for me is why the internet has overall been a better thing, because your reach is global at that point. Whereas if we didn't have the reach like that, we would be relying on mail outs, mailing lists, like all terrestrial kind of postal and things like that, and just word of mouth. It's like we might get a version of famous, but it wouldn't have the kind of scale and kind of individual reach.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. Like, you guys, you just don't have fans from Manchester because of the internet. I take it you've got fans from abroad. Like Gabby, you might have brought Spanish fans into the band. Who knows where else in Europe or South America or something like that. It's just
that's a good thing of internet. Yeah, of course, because it's not even from Spain, for whatever country, because you put things on Facebook and whatever, and maybe someone from Australia seeing you and say, "Oh, that band is nice," and they are not even in the past. They were not able to see you in another way.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Well, believe it or not, you guys can talk. I've only got another 10 minutes left, so this is the last question anyway. This is the time where I talk about the instruments of the album. So, Luke, go for it. What guitar did you use for Ashen Nails then? And he's frozen.
I think he used his Schecter.
So, Sonny, we'll start off with you then. What guitar did you use then?
I think, oh God, I used, apparently I'm not allowed any vintage guitars, so I've got to use, I've got it here.
You are not allowed to bring broken guitars, Sonny. It's not because they are vintage.
Is that the Gunslinger?
Yes, so I've got BC Rich Gunslinger, because one of the first guitars I had as a kid was BC Rich. I think Luke used a Schecter. And as far as, and I don't know what, have you used Hassan has a few basses. He used a Warwick, I believe. Maybe on to Luke.
Warwick 5.
I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Luke, are you back now? No, he's still frozen.
Never mind.
What pedals do you use, Sonny?
No, I don't do pedals, mate, really. I've got a pedal board, but it's just got a tuner on it. It's a foot switch. And I usually have a reverb, to be honest. And the reverb is a little half rack unit on the amp. I use a foot switch to control it. I'm solely Angus Young. I think just you get a nice guitar, nice amp, straight in. It gives you less problems. You can just focus on what you're doing. And I love pedals. You get carried away. I've since bought a few, but I rarely use them really, just for fun.
Champion. I think Luke's having a fit here, but James, with you being the vocalist, then did you go through a lot of microphones before deciding on one that you got the sound that you wanted?
Well, so I've been doing live sound engineering professionally now for 7 or 8 years, and I've been studying for about 12.
Yeah.
So I've had a faff around with a fair few microphones, and Shure Beta 58 is what I go for. It's got great rejection. Is it a hypercardio? I think it's been so long. Either way, great rejection. You can get much better signal out of it with a lower gain, and because I know what I'm doing when it comes to kind of angling myself and projection with it, it means that you don't need to, like, feedback tends to be a much lower kind of issue. But I do actually use an effects pedal when I play. So I use the Digitech V300 vocalist pedal, which has an expression pedal on it set to blend an octave down on my voice, just shy of about like 50-60% blend, which is, so on the album there are some sections where it's high and low double track vocals, and I wanted to be able to achieve that live. So I sing the black metal upper register stuff, hit this pedal in, and that's how I get my dual tone vocals live. I need to get it packaged up a little bit nicer, because at the moment I just slap the pedal down and just kind of get it going. My hope would be is that I get some kind of DI box set up on the go where I can split the signals out, give the engineer behind the desk a proper mix between the two of them, and you know, that's how I can make sure that we can get that album sound live. Yeah,
no, it's certainly good. It's certainly good. It wouldn't be classed as cheating, though, would it? No.
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 Why is? I mean, you put reverb on vocals, you put delay on vocals. Why wouldn't you put an octaver on it?
What I was doing there was having a wee delaying tactic there, because Luke had looked as if he was going to be ready for the next question. But
no such luck.
His moment of glory in the whole hour and a half interview, and he's anyway. Listen, guys.
That's Gabby how many cowbells he's got.
Well, I was going to say, listen, guys, thanks very much for the interview. But I forgot about the drummer there, Gabby. So,
he's gone. All right.
So, Gabby, tell us about your drum setup that you've got then, and that you used for the album.
Well, I mean, in the album was recorded. I mean, we recorded with an old Premier APK that I think is the 80% of people in UK have one of those. Because it was borrowed, because when I came here, I had almost nothing, just some cymbals and the snare drum that I bring from Spain. And currently, I have a Sonor 303. Because I always wanted one of those, and I found one cheap one in Leeds, and I bought it because I like the Sonor have a very good punch on the bass drum, and still have these big toms. Because now the fashion thing is like to have these short toms that have a lot of attack, but they have no body, they are not fat, and I still like these 80s sounds. You know, that toms sounds fat. I still like this. It gives more darkness maybe to the sound. And I'm using a Ludwig typical supraphonic snare, because it's very versatile and you can tune it whatever you want. You can do whatever. To be honest, I have 3 or 4 snares, but when I came here from Spain, I just picked one that was versatile because I didn't know what I was going to do really.
Well, that's actually what I was going to ask about the snare sound. Did it take you some time to get the sound that you wanted for the album, or was it quite straightforward for you to get?
Yeah, well, I more or less, when I started playing with them, I played with some more people here, and was a bit different, but the kind of music that we are playing is more or less what I was playing for the last years. Then I more or less had the idea in the head, and as I say, this snare is very versatile. You can tighten it a lot as I'm playing with them, and it sounds very good, sounds very clear, and that's what I was looking for, really.
That's it.
He's a good drum tuner.
I mean, as far as the album sounds concerned, I feel as though we had to compromise, and as we do with the budget we had in mind, we had to do what we could just to get it done in the practice room. Hopefully, like I say, with the next one, we can have more time to experiment with the sound and bring our own kind of touches to it, make it sound a bit more wholesome.
How long were you in the studio for the first album?
It was just bits and pieces. It wasn't necessarily, there was no studio. That's there was a studio on the other side that did the mixing and mastering, but as far as we're concerned, we just tracked in the practice room and got all the parts together and started building it that way over a period of say a few weeks, months.
Well, good.
It was pretty quick getting things tracked and down.
Yeah. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the sound, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with the production at all. So, for the way it's been recorded, it's done a good job. Good job. But listen, part of a podcast team as well. And a guy, Mark, in my podcast team, he does a radio show in the UK, does a radio show in America. So I can get Mark to play a song off the album. Is there a song that you prefer to be played off the album?
I think if we were going to pick one, it would probably be Dark Army.
Dark Army or Lost Souls for me.
Yeah. The only reason I'd say Dark Army over Lost Souls is that I didn't write the lyrics for Lost Souls. Dark Army was the last song that we wrote.
Yeah.
I think we choose Dark Army kind of a single because it's the most straightforward one.
Well, that's fine.
I feel it covers a few different bases as well, kind of for the pop element plus the kind of showcasey kind of thing. Because Sonny, I love your solo. I sing it in my head.
Well, James, could you do me a favour? Could you send me an MP3 of the song? And what I'll do is I'll get it airplayed on the 2 radio stations.
Very kindly, sir. Thank you very much.
No worries.
I'll get that over to you.
Send my apologies to Luke. I know that he's absolutely gutted that I can't go on about his 10 different guitars that he's got. But pass on our best wishes. But like I say, looking forward to, I see you're just about to release the CDs, actual CDs of Ash and Nails. So hopefully the sales will go well. The new material will see the light of day maybe towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, whatever. But I definitely look forward to seeing you guys at Badgerfest. And I wish you guys all the best luck.
No, thank you very much. And so, well, the album is available physically on Big Cartel at the moment. So you can actually go to our Facebook page and find a link for that. Would really appreciate anybody who is listening, checking out the Facebook, giving it a like, going to our YouTube page, give us a little subscribe and check out some of the videos that we've been talking about. Would really appreciate all of that. Thank you, Ricky, for the interview. It's been absolutely fantastic. You've been a fantastic host.
No worries with that at all. And I have subscribed to your YouTube channel, and we're just about to run
it. She'll work.
Right, so I'll see you guys later. Right, best of luck, and I'll see you guys later. Okay. Cheers.
Take care, mate.